The print, 11th of January 2024, following Thimphu's meetings with China, India and Bhutan share worries over security, Army Chief. By stationing soldiers along Bhutan's border and protecting Bhutan, India must intervene to defend Bhutan from hegemonic China. On Thursday, Army Chief General Manoj Pande stated that the Indian force was keenly observing the border negotiations between Thimpu and Beijing and that Bhutan and India share similar security concerns. "We have a unique bilateral relationship with Bhutan founded on the highest levels of trust and understanding, which translates into a military connection." In his annual press conference held ahead of Army Day, General Pande stated, "We share mutual security concerns with Bhutan." His remarks coincide with the agreement between China and Bhutan to expedite discussions over border demarcation and delimitation and forging diplomatic relations. The territories under consideration are close to India's borders with Bhutan and potentially come under Chinese control, which means these discussions will affect India's strategic interests. "We are carefully monitoring the border negotiations and communicating openly and transparently with our partners in Bhutan. Everything in our relationship is going well," General Pande stated. China and Bhutan were on the verge of settling on the Doklam boundary issue, as the print was the first to report in January 2019. The working border between the two nations was the Chinese holding line in the disputed area. Though a formal agreement on this point has not yet been signed, the Chinese have taken control of the region and established several dual-use settlements close to the triangular intersection with India on Bhutanese territory. Nonetheless, the Indian strategic and security sector is concerned about the recent acceleration of the boundary negotiations between Bhutan and China. During his two-day official visit to Bhutan in October of last year, Vice President Han Zheng and his Chinese colleague Wang Yi were met by the country's foreign minister, Tandai Dorji. During the visit, diplomatic relations were established between the two nations, and Dorji and Han decided to accelerate the process of demarcating the border. Soon afterward, in November, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar were among the people whom Bhutan's King Jigme Khesar Namgyal Wangchuk met with during his 8-day visit to India. He came to the nation twice in the previous year. China asserts territorial claims over approximately 764 square kilometers in northwest and central Bhutan, as the print reported in October. This conflict dates back to the 1950s Chinese occupation of Tibet. China took over 8 Bhutanese enclaves in 1959 and refused to acknowledge the dividing line that separates Tibet and Bhutan. Since then, talks have proceeded on 3 regions of dispute: the well-known Doklam area in West Bhutan, which witnessed a standoff between India and China in 2017, and the Jakarlung and Pasamlung territories in North Bhutan. 2020 saw Beijing claim sovereignty of the Sokteng Wildlife Sanctuary near Arunachal Pradesh in eastern Bhutan. It has been reported that if Bhutan consents to hand over Doklam, China is prepared to renounce its claim to the sanctuary. Doklam, a plateau roughly 89 square kilometers in size and less than 10 kilometers wide, is strategically important to India since it faces the Siliguri corridor, which serves as a gateway to the country's northeast. China has been constructing a road and capturing little areas of Doklam since the late 1990s. It began building a road in 2017 leading to the strategically significant Jampheri Ridge Line. On June 18, 2017, several Indian Army companies intervened to create a human wall to stop Chinese laborers and earth excavators from working on construction projects. Global powers kept a tight eye on the standoff, which prolonged for over 2 months and raised regional tensions. Ultimately, China decided not to build the road and retreated 200 meters, while India returned to the Dokala post, which it had maintained for several years. Even though it is Bhutanese territory, China still maintains a significant presence there and has constructed military facilities.